Welcome back to the 14th lesson of the piano series for beginners, and in this particular video we'll be looking at how to harmonize and voice the scale degrees, or you say the note of a scale. To go further, let me quickly itemize what we are going to do in this lesson based on what we learned in the last class. The last class we looked at chord inversions, and in this lesson, using the basic scale harmonization, we'll be looking at different inversions and root position. It's to say we play different chords in the harmonization in different inversions. And secondly, we look at voicing, that is open and close voicing. And in this particular exercise, we look at a way to balance that. That is, we blend open and close voicing. That is, a voicing is closed when it's within an octave. It's open when it is space. So we look at that with this exercise. And the last thing we will look at is the last lesson we talked about playing the highest note. To have a very good voicing, you make your melody, the note of your melody, the highest note in your chord. So that is what we are going to do to the note of our scale. There will be the highest note in the chord we will voice. This video is the continuation of the last lesson, that is lesson 13, so I will stick to F major to explain. For the basic scale harmonization we are learning in this video, I will make it in ascending and descending order, and I will make sure I explain the note I'm playing so that you'll be able to work on it in other cases. So I'm using suffer notes. If I need to use letter names, I will do that, but I'll do more suffer notes. The do note in F major is the F note. So to harmonize that do, I'm using a close voicing, that is, it will be within an octave, and I'm using chord 1 of the key to harmonize the note do. So I have something like this, and you see it is closed within an octave. I'm not going beyond an octave, and it's giving me that sound because I'm making the do the highest note in that chord. So what are the notes of this chord? I have my, how do I voice it? I have my F to A and C to F. That is my do mi for my left hand, and my so to your upper do for my right hand. Now for the second note, which is our re note, I'll be using chord 5. With the chord 5 of F major is our sol ti re, that is sol ti re, but I'm not using the triad, I'm using the dominant 7. If you're a beginner by now, you should start using dominant 7 for your chord 5. It will sound very well, but if you still want it to be in triad, you can double. Can you see it? You can double your roots here, and you have your T and re. This is a very good open voicing for your re note. Now, but I'm using a dominant 7, that means I'm using my fa. So I will have my so to fa and my T to re. So you don't have to bombard all the notes, you can space it. That is why chord voicing is good. So I have something like this for my re. So that is so, fa, then T and re. Now we go to the next note, which is our mi note. Mi note of F major is our A. So to voice this particular note, I'm using chord 1 also for this particular note, so but not in the same way I play the do note. So I have something like this. You will hear that mi note, it's coming out very well, it's pronounced. That's because I voice it very well. I make my mi note the highest note. So I have, so the notes are your do and your so. This is what we call power chord on guitar. This is, you have your, this is my F5 if you want to use chord symbol. So this is F to my C, then F to my A. So that is do so and your do mi. Now the next one is our fa note, which is B flat in F major. The fa note, how do we voice it? Now we use open voicing for this too, but we'll make it a first inversion. The first 3 notes we have played, they are in root position, but this time, why are they root position? Because the bass note, the first one is, this is the bass note for the chord. The other one, chord 5, this is the bass note for the chord. So, but this time around, I want a first inversion. So for my fa note, I'm using first inversion, and the notes will be, I see, I have my D to my B flat, that is my La to my Fa, yeah, then I have my Do to Fa. So, and the Fa note is pronounced. Next next note in the F major is our sol note, that is C. So I'm using chord 1 for that particular note too, but at the same time I don't want it to be in root position, so I'm using first inversion. That means the bass note will be my third of chord 1, so that the third is our mi. So I have something like this for my sol note. So this is where I'm voicing it. I have A to C, then F to C. So when I voice it like this, you can hear that at the end. So that is a very nice voicing for my sol note if the chord that is applicable for it is chord 1. Next note in the scale is our La note, that is our D. So how do we voice this note? Let me space it, let me make it a very good spacing. Now I can have it like this, I can just hold one of it. If I want the bass, I add 3, so I have something like this. So I'm making it a triad, I'm not using any 7th chord for this. So I have my root doubled. I'm using chord 4 to harmonize the La note. I have my root doubled, then I have the Do and the La here. So that is for the La note. Then we go to the next note in the scale, which is T. How do I do this? Now I need to use another inversion, so I can use second inversion to harmonize this particular note. So what chord am I using? I'm using chord 5. Then to have the second inversion of chord 5, the bass note has to be my Re. So the Re is the bass note, so that is what will make it the second inversion. So I'm having, and I told you chord 5 make it a dominant what? A 7, so a dominant 7. So I have my Re and So. Then at my right hand it will be Fa and T. So I have something like this. You can hear this. That is it. So that is for my C note before I resolve it to my upper Do. Now let's take to the upper Do. Now for the upper Do, that is the F above this one, I want it to resolve very well. So I want the leading note, that is my T, to lead to my Do. So to voice it, I'm doing something like this. I have my power chord here, that is the F5 with my A and the upper F. So I have something like this. It will sound nice. So you have this movement, so you have this something like that is the nice one anyway. So the notes are, we have Do to So and Mi to the upper Do for right hand. Now this is nice. This is ascending order. I want to adjust some order because sometimes you may have the same notes and you may have different chords to accompany it or to harmonize it. So let's change some chord now when we descend it. Now to descend from the upper Do, instead of having the same chord 1, I want to use the substitute, the very substitute chord for chord 1, which I have told you in this series, which is chord 6. I'm changing it to chord 6. So how do I voice it? I'm doing something like this. So you can hear the La note, but at the same time my Do is still very pronounced. So I have La and the Do, then my Mi and Do. So just like you play this. So that is the Do, the upper Do when you are descending it. So I want to change at the T note. I want to change the chord for the T note. You know the other one we played this, but I don't want this when I'm descending. So I'm changing it to a major 7th, to a major 7th chord. That is for chord 1, a major 7th. So I have something like this. I have my Mi and Do, then this one is playing Mi and T. So it's a sound I have. So this one is Mi and Do, then this is Mi to your T. And for the La note, while I'm descending, I don't want the same thing with while I'm ascending. So I don't want the root position at the plate. You know, I want it to be second inversion. So I can just adjust it and have something like this. So instead of playing this, I have my Do to my Fa and Do to my La. So I have this. Now I go to my so I can still maintain that so for the ascending. I like that mi note at the beginning, that first inversion, so I can do something like this again. The same thing with the ascending. That is for my so. Then my fa, this is what I played for the fa when I was coming. I can adjust it and make it a second inversion too, so I have something like this. Can you see it? So I have my do to my la and do to my fa. Can you see that? For the fa while descending, then our mi can still maintain the same one for the ascending. Then we take it to the re, you can still do the same one for the ascending. Then your do can still be the same one while you're coming. Now this harmonization will make sense to you when you play them together. I really love it. Then when you also spice it with something else, you have some note. Now let's see the way they will sound when we play them together, both ascending and descending.